Okay, well, welcome to, what is it, April's focus discussion. As some of you have already spotted, we're talking about positioning and restart management. Okay, two exciting topics. Now, we know this year the theme is refereeing with personality. So the question tonight is, how do we position ourselves? How do we do restart management? What are the opportunities that restart management and positioning give us for personality? And you see some up here already. Does anyone have any to throw in?
Communication.
Communication. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. Sorry, guys. There we go. The people online needed something. Yeah, there's communication. Not all the answers are going to be up there. I know everyone's staring at it. This is a focus discussion.
Basically, some ideas to give us some thoughts and share our own opinions.
Mm-hmm. But how do we see those opportunities for personality in positioning and in managing restarts?
Well, it's a time. Communication for sure, and time you can you can speak to the players that isn't in a pitched moment, perhaps. Or if you're talking about, are we talking about restarts or both? Or
both.
So in restarts, you have kind of a moment of calm, if you will, hopefully, mm-hmm. and you can kind of speak to people and direct them in a respectful way. If it's if you're talking about positioning, that can be when something's happened on with a player, or you've noticed something going on between two players. It's time to be able to kind of maybe run by and give a little quiet word to them about something, or even if something's not happening, if you want to say something encouraging, or it might be something like, hey, nice run, or I sometimes say that to players, who, so I can give you those chances there.
I give them pointers just whenever they make a good shot, a good save, or a good block, or a fair, clean tackle, just to make sure that they know that I'm watching, while at the same time they are also aware that that they can also at least feel good about themselves, because the last thing I want is for them to hold any negative emotions within themselves and then let it out on a player. So.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you've given advantage, maybe they were playing through and they didn't hear it, and you might run by and say, hey, I saw that, I gave you advantage. And sometimes they'll go, oh, you did? Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. All right. I saw it. It's all good.
Yeah. All right. As we're getting more people joining, I'll introduce the whole group, since not everyone in here sees who all is online. I am Louis Elliott. I'm registered with Ojai. We have Clint Shibata from Camarillo.
Hi, y'all.
From Ventura, we have Keith Roberts and Chris Holberg. From North Oxnard, we have John Crandall. From Philippala, we have Cindy Elliott online. And then from Santa Barbara, we have Roy Kiesler and Charlie Muhammad. So all the online folks, feel free to hop in at any point. Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
So our opportunities for personality in positioning and in restart management are much more abundant than you might think at first. Really, the laws are clear but minimal. They're fairly open-ended for what you have to do in terms of positioning, what you have to do in terms of restart management. And challenging matches give us a lot of opportunities to try out different things in our positioning, in our restart management, right? We've all had a challenging match where you just can't seem to get that wall to obey what you want. A little sneak peek, that's going to get a lot easier next year. And reading the match can really dictate these, right? Positioning is a lot more critical if the match is presenting challenges, then management is a lot more critical if the match is presenting challenges. We have a variety of tools and strategies, including your body language, your your presence, your voice, all those tools that you can use for regular management of challenging situations, they can play in the assets in positioning and restart management. And obviously diligence always pays dividends on these. So just to give a quick structure to what we're doing tonight, we have positioning and managing restarts. We're going to cover positioning first because I think there's a little less to cover there. That's not to say there isn't anything interesting to cover there, but I think we're going to get through it more quickly. And then we'll move on to restart management. And I know we can get off in the weeds there, and I want to allow us that time. So I'm trying to touch on the light one first so we get it done. And we can talk our hearts out on restart management until they boot us out of here. So, sound fair? All right. So, you'll remember what we hit on in March is personality comes in when the requirements of the law are completed, right? So, the way I'm trying to approach this is I'm not teaching you to go out there and be entirely creative, unique people. There is still a law we need to enforce, and there's still procedures and mechanics that we need to follow. However, there is leeway in those. There is flexibility. So we always want to look at what does the law say has to be done? Okay, now how can I do it? What can I appropriately add? So with positioning, the first thing on which I want to hit is what does the law say? And this is about it. So the best position is one from which the referee can make the correct decision. All recommendations about positioning must be adjusted. And then obviously they have those diagrams that you've all seen in the latter half of the laws on positioning, which refer to zones. And these zones emphasize that a recommended position is an area within which the referee is most likely to be effective. Obviously, they're flexible for specific match situations. Everyone's tracking so far? Okay. Now, it extrapolates a bit more. Some great criteria here with which we're all familiar. The play should be between the referee and the lead AR. That's where we start you off in the basic referee course. The lead AR should be in the referee's field of vision, so the referee should usually use a wide diagonal system. That's where we hit you with the intermediate course. Staying towards the outside of play makes it easier to keep play and the lead AR in the referee's field of vision. The referee should be close enough to see play without interfering. We've all been hit. It's another thing that's going to change for next year. What needs to be seen is not always within the vicinity of the ball, right? Everyone here has seen a fight in a soccer game? Was the ball anywhere near it? Not normally, right? It's off on the other end of the field. So there are player confrontations off the ball. There are possible offenses in the area toward which the ball is moving, the landing zone, as we often call it. And then we have offenses occurring after the ball is played away, the late foul. We're all familiar with those. No questions yet? All right, now let's not forget our assistant referees. We will forget our additional assistant referees. The AR must be in line with the second last defender of the ball if it is near the goal line, and then the second last defender. The AR must always face the field of play, even when running. Side-to-side movement should be used for short distances. This is especially important when judging offside, and it gives the AR a better line of vision. Now, I said the laws are pretty open-ended on positioning. That's not true for ARs, right? Which is why AR is so physically demanding, because you gotta be there to do your job. All right, so there's not too much to talk about, right, in terms of AR positioning, but we will talk about the referee positioning. And in terms of the referee positioning, what are some influencing factors that dictate your positions during dynamic play?
Well, the conditioning of the referee, fitness
right
right up there.
The age of the players, not the age of you, but the age of the
Yeah,
players.
the
I was
age
going
of
to
the
say the age of the
referee.
players and the age of you, right, of the referee.
And level of play, yeah, just right in order.
And we've got style of play too. Does anyone here key in on that?
Offside
I was about to say.
trap. Some, like a lot of players like to look at the Swedish players. in the Olympics, but that's women's nationals will go there. So, but it can be done. But it has happened.
Yeah.
Temperature of match,
Mhm.
temperature of the weather.
Yeah. Temperature of whether your positioning gets a lot more wind.
That's also in a lot. That's also in the new laws.
Temperature of the match does the opposite, right? How does the temperature of the match shape your positioning choices during dynamic play?
Forces us to be right there,
Be closer.
just to be prepared for any small unfair or confrontations or situations that occur.
Yeah, that's great. That's being proactive. That's being diligent. Position on the field. Does anyone have any idea how position on the field of play of the referee, how can that influence your positioning choices?
I know it has an influence on the match because the players see you're there, or especially if you're near a player that you suspect you're going to have problems with, they tend to tone it down.
Okay.
Or if you're talking about in a different sense, if you've had to make a run all the way down into the area and the keeper collects the ball, now you're at an extreme end of the field and that ball is going to get out to the middle very quickly, especially at an older level. So that if you're talking about that kind of position, you're going to need to move and be aware of where the ball is going next.
Are there any times when you see play go to a certain place on the field and you think, hey, I got to get there?
Yes.
What are some examples?
If it's played for in an attacking position, if it's getting into the area and or down, we talk about this, down into a corner, the opposite corner from your AR, where you have to get over there and cover it because you're the only one who's going to be there. You're not going to have coverage from your AR, so you need to
Gets down in the quarter late in the game.
in a tight game.
Tight game, yeah.
Right.
That's something you want to be there, right? What's another place on the field where we are compelled, it behooves us to be close to play?
Well, if you see multiple players in a group vying for the ball, you want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
There's more of a chance of something happening that you may have to blow your whistle with.
Exactly. Players congregating, especially without a ball. How about this? Have you ever noticed a defender being on the different side and opposite end of the field? Imagine, is that good news or bad news? So
by opposite side, you mean like
defender is front right.
Well, that could be both. It could be bad news for you and bad news for the defending team and good news for the attacking team. If there's a breakaway, you're going to have to go down with it fast because there's most likely going to be fewer people defending.
Does anyone online see what I'm getting at with that question?
The example that I think of is a player, say he's been your right fullback, and he's just been dispossessed of the ball, and he kind of thought it was unfair, and then he charges up the field to the opposite side where he's not usually playing. Would be a potential situation.
And why is that a dangerous situation? Why is that a key that you need to be close?
Well, why would the player put himself down there? It doesn't strategically make sense usually, right. So he's there maybe for a personal reason.
Frustration, right? Going out to be the bruiser. They're going to go enforce their own law down there. Next time you cast that, right? Next time, when we run into players, right? When we're in a player's way, it's the same players all game. It's the same few players, right? Because we move essentially on the diagonal. We know who's in our area of play. Even if you have a dynamic diagonal, you're on different parts of the field as the play is in different phases. So as a referee, you do not often see the back left defender in close proximity, right? Which defender do you see?
The defender diagonal to where you're usually in the pathway.
That right defender.
The right defender, right? Why is that?
That's your diagonal.
Because you're
Offset from the
facing
arrow.
to the right if you run the standard diagonal.
Yeah. So if you're seeing the left defender, that's going to be somewhat jarring, right? That's going to be, who's this player? It's kind of that shift that you get right after substitutions, right? You might not, especially if the team's got 5, 6, 7 subs, and they're just swapping the whole bench on. All of a sudden, who's this? It takes a little getting used to. So if you're on the field, right, and you see a player you're not used to being around you, take that as a wake-up call. Maybe I need to stick close to this. Unless the coach switches positions, in the higher level games it's easier to read, but unless the coach switches positions, that player's there for some weird purpose, or less sporting purpose, normally. Something helpful to keep an eye out. Before we move on, does anybody online want to add any influencing factors or speak on these influencing factors?
This is Roy.
Go ahead, Roy.
May not directly influence positioning per se, but one of the things that I also associate with personality is the occasional need for what we call a flyby. If you have a coach or an assistant coach or any other team personnel that need to be addressed, but you do not want to stop the game to go over there, or if you need to explain something. But when you feel that temperature is heating up in the technical area, you might want to sort of change your diagonal a little bit, or in an opportune moment, make a quick visit there.
That's great. That's something someone with your legs can do, Roy. Yeah. And that's a referee's personal touch, right? Some of us are more comfortable just calling out to the coach across the field. Not even confrontational, just say, "What's that, coach? What do you need?" Just having a chat. Whereas some referees prefer to do the flyby, as Roy called it. Thanks, Roy.
All right.
Charlie, I know you were getting started.
Yeah, I was just wondering, because sometimes when you're looking down the field and you've had two players who've been aggressive, one the attacker, one the defender, it's almost like you have to get down there because you know that they've been close to fouling already. So wouldn't that automatically put your field vision going in that direction, even if you're on your diagonal? Because it's something you have to watch for, because you're trying to keep them from fouling, because you're warning them, hey, stop that play, stop doing this, but you know that it's getting heated and aggressive between those two players.
What do you all have to say about that?
Yeah, I get
Everyone
totally.
concurs?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely agree with
concur.
that.
All right. Great minds think alike. All right. All right, how about we move on to some videos to demonstrate some techniques. This first one shows a referee who has a whole lot of speed to use as the player is outmatched. Yeah, let's restart it. There's no audio coming from these videos for some reason. I apologize. The volume's at 105%, so.
It needs to be less than 100.
Well, less than
No, I'm just
100.
kidding.
We're breaking the rules of physics. All right. I took it to a 97. When I was trying these before the class, I don't even really make these. All right. So let's key in on positioning here. Let's think back to our factors. Let's say this is late in the game and it's a tied game. What other factors do you see influencing the referee's position here?
Well, we have two defenders on the attacker.
Boxing the attacker, actually. So
Yeah.
Trying
it
to.
could easily be like a tactical, you could easily have a tactical foul right there, or someone like doing something violent you see where you're not looking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I see more the possibility that the one player that runs across the front of the attacker
Mm-hmm.
could mistime it, could end up tripping the attacker, or not getting the ball, having a foul there.
The position of the referee is good. He can see space between the players, so he's not stuck behind, a defender. So he can actually see. We always say, yeah, you want to see the space between the players. He sees that. He keeps the play also between himself and the AR. So in this situation, and he continues all the way into definitely the penalty area, probably even close to the goal area as well. So overall, great positioning for this type of play.
Yeah, he's pretty much in the goal area by the time that ball goes in.
Yeah, very close.
Which is great. Right? This isn't the highest level of play you're going to see in AYSO, but it's reasonably high level of play, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's great patience
One thing
on behalf.
One thing that I see, he chose his position is influenced by the teammates of the attacker that she had an open crossing pass to that she might have chosen to pass to, and he chose to stay out of the passing lane.
Right. That's true.
Yeah, he stayed back, but you see the teammate right there giving the high five. I don't think, I've watched this a couple dozen times probably, I don't think I saw the attacker look up for a teammate once. I think she was determined to
She was
make this
focused.
happen.
Oh
on
yeah,
her own.
definitely focused.
And later in the game, the referee's going to realize this puck doesn't pass. I don't have to worry so much about that passing lane. But yeah, it's a great thing to be mindful about. Yeah, and it's this situation is screaming for you to be close, right? But what does he do? Does he appear on screen right away?
No,
Is that necessarily a problem?
Well, the assistant ref. Well, originally the play is like right where the assistant referee is supposed to.
Do we trust this AR?
That AR? I don't think so.
Yeah.
That guy is shady.
probably got bribed by the other team.
Probably.
Yeah, right. So it's right in front of the AR at first, and this looks like it was a quick counterattack, right? It's just those two defenders. As you hand back, there are no other defenders.
Right.
So what's the referee thinking about now? Now I know Keith, I'll be hurt if you forgot this from March already. He's the only one that attended, so no pressure on anyone else. What could the referee be achieving at first while he's off screen, and then changes as he gets on screen? With his positioning, there are two big goals. One starts with a P and one starts with an A. Oh, this hurts.
I know. Well, isn't one of them angle? But
There we go. All right. One of them's angle. What's the other?
I would have said
Presence?
positioning, but
Presence?
yeah. I'm sad that if I can't.
I'm sad too.
More sad since I was the only one who attended it.
There we go. There's a pen that works. All right, the people online, I've written on the board positioning, and I have a 1 and a 2. Actually, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to do bullet points. I don't want to prioritize. So the first one Keith got was angle. And so it was a trade-off between your angle and your proximity. Okay?
I would give that to Chris for presence,
Presence. Okay.
which kind of is the same thing.
You even got the right first two letters. So I'll give it to you.
We're giving him credit for trying.
Well,
So-
proximity and
I tried.
presence. I mean, I think that's very related. I
Yeah.
mean, if you're letting them know you're there, you're in proximity.
So is it safe to assume at first, on this quick counterattack, the referee is getting his angle? He's not chasing down play. He's getting his angle to get
You
out.
can tell, and
Yeah.
and you can see when he does come into camera, he's coming He's keeping, I would say a good distance from play, and he knows, okay, this play is going toward goal. I got to get there, and then I'm gonna angle my run
Exactly.
to keep that good distance.
Yeah, so he gets his angle first. Quick counterattacks are when you go for angle rather than proximity. But as he's got the right angle, then he changes his path to start tracking in on proximity. You can see he's got a pretty flat, straight toward goal run at the end here. So yeah, I think he did a good job of saying, hold on, early on I gotta get so I can see something. Because my AR has that angle from over there. I need to get an angle over here. And then once he's got his angle, he closes in. I think we've pretty much beaten this one to death.
Yeah.
The next one's pretty good too. We'll see angle versus proximity, and we'll see some other things as well.
From the back end.
I want to hit. You'll see footage from 2 games, but 1 referee here. Same weekend, right? So it's not like the referees, anyone who's tried changing their positioning habits knows how hard it is to change within a weekend. So this is I'm putting that out there to say all this positioning is a conscious decision. Okay. So on the first clip here, we got a girls 14 game, right? And just watch the referee here, right? He's going angle, and then he darts in as play the is going to die, and then he settles down. And of course, he made that hard run and play right across the field. And then they turn it around and do a counterattack. So he's got to make another hard run. And look, he's casual there, and then he starts sprinting. And then he eases off, and then he starts cutting his angle. You see him check teammates there, check the AR. All right, same referee, boys 14. This is, I believe, the day before. Look at that, ball in the corner, and refs are right on top of them.
A lot of players.
Yeah, a lot of players. When the ball stops moving, trouble starts happening.
Yeah.
All right. So, I want to hit on some points. This referee's specific choices here in positioning. And let me break this down. Let me see if I can play this slow-mo. Because that referee's just got such legs. Where did it go? Speed. There we go. All right, so let me just talk through what I see here, and then, all right, so right here he's picking out angle, and then.
Might want to mute your mic.
Pedro, you can turn your mic back on anytime you want. There's just some background noise. All right. Playback speed slower. Oh, okay. I'll just keep slowing it down. Even slower. All right. So here we go. So right here, he's going for angle, right? He's not chasing straight after the play. And then you see him take that turn. You see this turn right here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he takes this turn. He feels he's got a good enough angle. Maybe not the perfect angle.
There's not a lot of challenge for the ball over there until just now. Now he gets a little, because it's wide open. There's nothing going to happen. She's all by herself. Then he turns and sees, oh, there's a challenge.
Yeah. It's as soon as the defender starts closing in, he says, oh, okay, I need a little more proximity here.
Yeah.
This is great. You can
she's going to go. Okay, I better look.
Yeah. You can just see his gears working there. It's perfect. And look right here. He's got a second where she's gotten away from the defender, and he looks over at his AR and the rest of the field. I think this is just a magical piece of positioning right there. So in this one run, he's He's switching through his priorities. Oh, okay, I'm here now. I got a good angle. Check AR, check field. And as play comes back around, obviously we don't see much going on there because I was filming the AR. All right, so as play starts coming back this other direction now, all right, we see he's not in a big hurry. He's got a good angle. And then he starts doing a little push here. Checks his AR right there. He's got a great angle there to catch the AR and the rest of the players. And this one pretty much plays itself out in the first hand, in the first viewing. But let me get this back to regular speed. Is there anything on these, any suggestions? Just great positioning, right? This leaves us speechless. Hey, I'm not gonna force it. If there's no discussion point here, we got plenty of discussion points coming up. I will push forward on those. That's our 2 clips there. That was just in case we needed it. All right. So we're moving on to restart management now. Okay. I specifically want to focus on free kicks, right? Because we could go into penalty kicks, we could go into shots from the mark, we could go into kickoff, right? There's so much to cover. How many of the laws are named after restarts? It's a lot, right? It's a lot. So just focusing on free kicks, the more exciting restarts, and the more flexible restarts. Okay. So where are we going to start? Where do we start when we're talking about positioning? And when we talk about adding your own touch, your own personality?
I'm thinking landing zone.
With the laws.
Oh, with the laws, okay.
Oh,
I like where you're thinking though, Chris. I like that you're thinking landing zone. That is not a bad place to be thinking. All right? So what do the laws say? Not much that's very interesting, all right? Nothing that you guys don't know. I'm not going to waste your time reading it, okay? Open up Law 13 if you want. However, here is something a little more interesting that should be new to some of us. A preview of the 2019-2020 laws, which, are they out in their entirety now?
not in their entirety. This is
Okay.
this is just the
They
summary.
have changes and
Yeah.
summary of changes.
Yeah, but
Pretty much what you have on the
we've
screen
got
right
about a
now.
month left on the 18-19 laws.
I'm just trying to familiarize myself with it right now.
That's a great plan. So here's one key aspect that's going to be a crux of this conversation that I need to bring in. I don't intend for this to be a law review or a law update review, but this is a useful one, okay? Under procedure, item 2 on Law 13, we have additional text that says until the ball is in play, all opponents must remain at least 10 yards from the ball unless they are outside the penalty area for free kicks. They must remain outside the penalty area for free kicks inside the opponent's penalty area. There's a whole other law change on that, so I'll let you guys get into that on your own. Where 3 or more defending team players form a wall, this is the important part of the change, so where 3 or more defending players form a wall, all attacking team players remain at least 1 meter, 1 yard from the wall until the ball is in play. That's big, right? That's a big change. And then why? Attackers standing very close to or in the defensive wall at a free kick often cause management problems and waste time. Very true.
Look at Colombia and England on the World Cup 2018 with Mark Geiger. I mean, it looked like one of the players tried to thrust his head right on the player.
He headbutted Jordan Henderson.
Was he doing anything good there?
No.
Laws won't even allow him to be there now. There is no, I like the righteousness in this phrasing. There is no legitimate tactical justification for the attackers to be in the wall, and their presence is against the spirit of the game and often damages the image of the game. All right. Well, this takes a lot of work off our shoulders, right? This really changes restart positioning for us. It's a whole lot easier.
Of course, in the first year it won't, but
Because we're all
It's going to take a lot of time to get everyone used to it.
right.
Because we're gonna have to like tell these people to move, and then everyone's gonna, and then all those who have seen soccer in the past are gonna be like, "What's going on here? This
Yeah.
wasn't an issue before. Why is this an issue now?"
Very true. So just remember, 3 defending players or more, and then all the attackers have to stay yard away. Okay? Just about an arm's length.
So if it's two defenders on the wall, then that means we could at least have an attacker there.
Yes, yes. You don't see usually as much trouble in those small numbers. Just when the numbers grow, things get ugly. Are there any questions on this law change? I think this is one of the more straightforward.
It's pretty straightforward.
It's definitely. Or when they say 1 yard, 1 meter, does that mean we have to like draw like a radius around the wall? Like, or because of this line, we're gonna have to do like some sort of an elliptical kind of like.
Well, here's the trick. If you have your spray can, you hold it about knee height and point towards the line.
They don't do that. They don't do that
It's
now.
about it's half of what you got to do for a throw. Okay?
Yeah, they don't use those bendable spray cans. You can just stand up and spray it now.
All right.
Oh, really? All right.
So what are some influencing factors on our restart management? I'll let you all have at it now.
Distance from goal,
Okay.
angle to goal.
Age of the players.
Depends on the restart.
Yeah.
I said it before it came up. I
You
just
did.
wanted to
You
say
did. I was very impressed.
it.
Style plays in there again. The referee has to read the game.
So this factor's offside.
Somebody's got to watch outside. Wall, not such a factor anymore.
The kicker,
The kicker.
right, wanting to move the ball forward,
Cheater.
right? I mean, how many times have we seen that?
Yeah.
You turn your back and the ball magically is 10 yards closer to the goal.
Or sometimes they try to do the quick restart so that way they can get
Quick
out.
re-
So that way they can get an advantage play going forward right away, all at the same time, like not get the referee to like say, "Let me, whoa, back it up. That was too far. That was too much forward."
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. That's not up there, but that is quick restart
Yeah.
is an influencing factor for sure. That's
Yeah.
Which is also in the
style of play.
It's also in the new law change as well when we're issuing a misconduct.
Yeah. That's fun for your own. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole yet. Yeah. Do you take the same restart position every time?
No.
No, I
Should you?
No.
Why?
You like to mix it up so they can't predict what you're going to be doing.
Uh-huh. And it's happened to me once. I don't know if it's happened to any of you. Have you ever missed anything?
Oh,
No.
very little.
No? Okay.
Oh wait, no. I thought you said if you ever caught anything. No, no. Well, also, you don't want to be in the same position because, or there may be a good position, but there may be a player between you and the guy. And you've got to keep your head on a swivel and make sure you're not in a passing lane.
Yeah. And it's a dynamic game, especially with the smarter, higher level players. They know where you are, they know what you get away with. And sometimes they're doing the same thing over and over, causing trouble, and you can't see it because of where you are. So it's great to change up your position. Another key factor in restart management, and this is a big one that comes from the advanced course, is shared responsibilities with the AR and the referee. What are the responsibilities we have to share?
Managing the wall.
Yeah, managing the wall.
The position of the ball on the restart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the taking of that restart too.
Right.
Because there are legal ways and then legal ways to take that restart.
Right.
We got the offside line,
Goal line.
goal line, yeah, pretty critical.
Obviously,
Touchline.
landing zone.
Landing zone, yeah, there can be a few things going on in the landing zone. And as we already hit on, the goal line is a pretty critical one in there. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. How many officials are usually capable of influencing a single restart?
2.
2, right? This is what we hit on big time in the advanced course. So someone's got to make a compromise, right? Otherwise, things end up like this right here. You look at this top left. That's a pretty busy restart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's pushing each other. Referee had trouble managing that line. Okay, so let's say we have a direct free kick just outside the penalty area, and this is for the attacking team, over toward the corner of the penalty area by the referee, or on the referee, opposite the AR. Okay.
The referee's
referee's
zone. Referee zone.
Yeah. All right. So let's just take a quick look at managing the whole situation of the wall, the placement of the kick, and the taking of the kick. And then you also have item 2, the offside line, item 3, goal line. How do you all choose who takes what responsibility, what gets sacrificed? I want to hear your approaches on this and see if you can throw your approach out there to get a challenge so you can try something when you're refereeing here in Oxnard this weekend.
Well,
that was a long-winded question.
If we're talking about in terms of sharing responsibilities here, I mean, if we're like, because the it's like in the corner of the penalty area, and obviously the player's going to ask for 10 yards from the ball to the wall, so basically we're going to have a whole bunch of players lined up in one tight area. So for that, in that situation, I think the assistant referee would need to cover the goal line while the referee covers the wall as far as foul and offside, because in this situation it's like really close together, so the referee can do two jobs at one, while the assistant referee just needs to handle one.
Yeah.
And plus that way it doesn't force the referee to like move way out of position, so play all of a sudden goes the other way. The referee will have to like sprint all the way back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can be a tough one. Because if you're getting the offside line, stick with me here, you're looking into the corner, you're coming around the kick, you're going around left, right? You're putting yourself deeper into that corner than plays. So, as Clint pointed out, there's a counterattack there. So, Clint's a young, fit, fast guy. Are there any different perspectives on handling that one?
So I might say that if it's that close to the goal line, maybe for just the reason Clint said that, you might want to not be all the way down that corner and have your assistant cover that offside line, because it's a short step, or hopefully it's a short distance to cover the goal line too. So as soon as that ball's kicked and you would judge offside, you're staying with it. You can move as the ball moves to the goal line, so you might be able to cover that.
The AR.
The AR could cover that.
Steps.
Right, just quick side steps, and so maybe you give those two responsibilities to them, and they often have it anyway because they're on the goal. They have that option. But I like your point too. And then you're in a better position for the counter attack, and you're managing, the kick, because it's important that that's not moved up, and
managing the players that
and
are
managing
like
the players
really
in the wall,
get
right?
physical with each
That
other.
could probably be testing since allow you to get down in there.
Thanks for clarifying that. That actually makes more sense, actually, when I think about it.
It's different.
Right.
Well, yeah, but
I'm not saying one's wrong. The
No,
other's
No, but it actually did give some thought to processing. I was like trying to discuss the idea of the referee doing two jobs basically, because that's also something we got to consider, is positioning and being prepared for the counterattack when it comes.
I know I would prefer to have my AR monitor the offside and take his steps quickly to look at the goal line if the ball is going in towards the goal to see whether it crosses all the way. And then I'll manage the line and also try to put myself in a position where, being old and unfit,
The offside line
I can-
or the wall?
the wall.
Okay.
I'll manage the wall and put myself in a position where, being old and unfit, I can make a dash down on the counterattack.
Different
Right.
strengths.
I'm-
different
I'm with you.
I'm going to watch some videos and critique those.
Please.
All right. I finally caved and used one for myself. I apologize.
That'll be a first.
No, that's not me.
I thought you were the one on the ball there. Yeah.
I just doesn't want to go to that one. That's okay. This is video 3 for you online folks. There you go.
Somebody making dinner?
All right, so restart management here. Restart button.
Somebody might want to mute their microphone.
Quick and efficient.
Yep.
Anything lacking here?
Was the kid in front 10 yards?
Well,
You kind of
Well-
waved him off and the guy went ahead and kicked.
he probably only did that just to basically get the player to show signs that he's not trying to
Now,
disrespect the distance.
here's the thing. If he were not 10 yards, which he didn't look like he was 10 yards.
This perspective does shrink it because that doesn't look
Okay.
like a. You see the half center circle?
It's true, okay.
Not that I'm
Okay.
being defensive here.
No, it's fine.
But the center circle looks pretty.
I wouldn't have
short.
walked him off there either. But the difference is, if he's not 10 yards and he jumps into the ball like that and blocks it,
Yeah.
it's different than if he just stands there and gets hit.
But also the
One
player
is a
could have asked
caution.
for 10 yards too, and he didn't do that either.
Or here's another thing to consider is if the player's about to kick and then all of a sudden when that opponent makes a jump, makes a move, he's like, whoa, I can't, whoa, I need to change my position. In that case, then we got interference by the defending player.
Okay.
And he comes pretty close to the ball with his arm.
It does, and you'll notice the referee's not watching that at that point. The referee said, "Okay, the distance is set. Good, let's move." That's what the trailer yard's for. Oh, but the other thing to be mindful of tracking who commits fouls and who is involved around fouls. Okay, so watch who committed the foul.
It was player 20
Yeah,
from the get-go.
and it was a light foul, right?
It was a light one, but obviously he didn't. He's not willing to stop right there.
Just a little bit of frustration about it, but it's been kind of close.
Either that, or more careless, or even more like care what anyone says.
Yeah. But all in all, one that's pretty quickly managed. What's prioritized here?
The restart, the speed of the restart.
Speed of the restart,
Keep
right?
going. Yeah.
Focus on the landing zone, let the trailer AR watch the rest of it. what's
Speed of
going
play.
on. Yeah. All right, I got 2 more videos. At some point in those 2 videos, I'd like to hear from someone online. So this one's all about waiting for a ceremonial free kick. Referee gets to the spot and calls the foul. The offense.
I'll take a stab at this. So I see good initial presence. You got what seems to be a close proximity, almost a 50-50 kind of a tackle. But given that these are upper ages, he sprints to the location of the foul. Prevents any kind of a fusion point there, any type of escalation. As soon as it's clear that, there's no, these guys pat each other on the back kind of thing, there's no animosity, he starts stepping back, taking control, a wider angle view of everything. He's able to see the ball being placed. You see that no one is showing signs of, standing in front of a ball, delaying the restarts. He's right there. As soon as the guy indicates that he wants, a ceremonial kick, he steps in there. Everybody seems to be complying with his, indication of where, the position of the wall is going to be. So, based on what I see, kind of textbook. He blows the whistle. He points to the whistle to indicate that restart is going to be ceremonial and on the whistle. So far, it's textbook.
Yeah, and Roy, first, can you point out what the law says must happen on the ceremonial free kick?
So, as soon as, if either the referee decide that this is going to be a ceremonial kick, for example, if you need to administer, discipline for misconduct, or if the player, on the now attacking team indicates that he wants this to be a ceremonial kick, you have to blow the whistle to, officially stop the play, and then indicate that this is going to be a ceremonial restart by, pointing clearly, visibly, typically in shoulder height, face level, hold your whistle, point to that, so that everybody understands that, the kicker as well as the defending team, that the restart is going to happen only on your whistle.
Thank you. Yeah, there are very few situations where we're required to whistle, and this is one of them. If you're doing this free kick where you held the restart, we always like you to indicate clearly with the whistle, tell the kicker they're going to kick on your whistle, then you must whistle to restart it. And they must wait for your whistle. Anyone that's recently has seen those questions on there about waiting for the whistle. So again, there's taking the approach of what has to happen here and then what does happen. What do we feel about, I know Roy's happening, the referee back off on this one and give it its time. Would anyone have been on top of this restart? Or would we like it?
I think based on just seeing that incident right there where the players were like, hey man, I'm sorry about that and all that stuff, and the fact that all these players show signs of frustration or arguments or like or any tension whatsoever, I think I believe that's Armando was actually doing the right thing right there, in my opinion.
You're checking to see who's doing all the noise.
Of course, it can also depend on how you. Of course, it can also depend on their personality and the personality of players and the personality of the referee in the situation.
Yeah, this one, good sportsmanship there, right?
Right.
It is, yeah.
Back each other, tight on the back. It's a nice one.
Gibbs.
We're muting you on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know how far into the game this is, but I got the impression from this it's well managed since the teams are getting along.
Yeah, it is well managed. All right, is there anything else we want to cover on this kid? I think it's good. All right, we'll jump ahead to all three free kicks here are handled very differently.
By how many different referees?
Yeah, 3 different referees, 3 different approaches. So this is somewhat similar to that earlier one we discussed, right? There's a sharing of responsibilities here. What's going on with that? What do we think? What do we think about the sharing of responsibilities here, and what sacrifices are being made? You because we're close enough to the goal with the goal consideration.
We got the AR intently looking at the offside.
Yes.
AR's got the offside.
And obviously the referee's trying to watch all the players between the ball and the goal.
First, he's very clear about where that kick's going to be taken. But
Also the angle as to which way the ball will go if it bounces off a defender or the crossbar.
Yeah.
He's sacrificing landing zone here because, with all the players between him and the goal, if there's something in there, it's going to be tough for the referee to see that. And given that it happens, on the further side of the field, it's going to be, tough for the AR to look at that as well.
so is that? I know you don't want to duplicate. He doesn't want to be on the line. Would there be from what Roy said, would you want to be a little closer to that area, to the wall? You don't see the whole wall, but I mean, at least then where that ball's going, because what he just said, you're not in that landing zone. And
Yeah. I think I would want to be more to the left side of the field and further forward.
Exactly. Wider, at least.
Yeah.
and closer.
Yeah, that is actually a good observation right there.
Let me ask this question along
Yeah.
that same line. Let me get it to the right point. I will pause it. I want to get the full view of the field here. Zoom out a little more. There we go. All right. What are our potential landing zones here?
Where the goal is.
There's one right in between, one right to the other side of him there.
Yeah. Let me use
It's like a hole between the two.
Well, there's the passing lane he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kicking is blue is kicking. No, green is kicking.
Green is
Sorry,
kicking.
green is kicking.
Oh, he's in in a passing lane.
Yeah.
In between two passing lanes.
Yeah. Well, if that player right here moves forward, the ball is going to come forward to them if they decide to run that.
Do we think these folks back here are potential landing zone?
Absolutely not.
Probably not.
It would probably be a bad use of your resources to invest a lot of them over there, right?
And the AR has got that covered pretty well.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. So we got these two potential recipients over here, and of course they may make a play forward toward, you can see the arc right here, they may move that direction. And then we got an attacker here and here. I believe we got one more just off camera for the left. So what's the kind of landing zone that what's a good landing zone to pick here as a referee, an informed landing zone?
The green player in front of him, as soon as she kicks, she could run through that open space and pick up that ball.
Yeah, that's one.
One thing, kind of where she puts it eventually, I mean, where she's trying to put it, which is right in the area, center of the area where there are three green players there. So again, wider and closer.
Unfortunately, I think she's trying to score it by herself, but she could have used that green player right in front of her.
Exactly.
Either way.
Most of the players that when they're
pass from
attacking
shot
third
or-
want to take a shot on goal, even though whether it's even if there's a wall or.
Well, imagine if she did shoot it on
Even
goal.
though the
Maybe she put.
probability of a goal is very low because the keeper's going to see that thing in the air for a long time.
Well, I'm going to say this. What about a deflection off the keeper? What if she actually put it on target with some pace? And now you have a situation in there and you're out here rather
With a
than.
rebound.
Right.
And it's going to get messy in there real quick, right? I see right here 3 defenders who are going to get there real quick, 3 or 4 attackers who are going to get there real quick.
Yeah, it could get messy.
So what I'm hearing, I think Roy hit on this first, and I think everybody's kind of approaching the same conclusion. We'd like the referee to come out a little more, definitely backed out past the arc, and be able to, the referee doesn't have to be out past blue number 6 here on the far left.
At least get at least a piece of him on his own quadrant.
Where he can just kind of do a quick pivot instead of looking behind, right? Because if he looks behind, who can he not see?
Well, he's not watching the kicker or anybody behind the kicker.
Kicker, he's got to turn around and look left at the whole left side of this field now. He's missing his AR. he's missing any scuffles that may be going on here. Somebody tries to get in to receive a cross. So I think we're all kind of agreeing. There's a obvious preference in this group that we want the referee over here. I haven't heard anyone throw out a different position that we would like, and I'm not saying there needs to be a different position. Yeah. Any more questions on that one? Anything anybody else wants to point out? All right. Okay, well, I think that brings us to the end of tonight's prepared material. Any overall questions on the aspect of adding personality via positioning and restart management, ways to make it your own? I hope no one's coming away from tonight's session with a sense of here's exactly how I have to manage every restart. Here's exactly where I have to be every time. However, I do hope you get, here's some criteria, and then you can use those criteria to critique what you're doing and decide, do I need to change or do I like it?
Well, it's at least taught me to be more vigilant about myself and like, hey, the next game I referee, be aware, hey, where can I possibly go that's going to put me in a better view of the players and the free kick and my assistant referee. So, food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, I mean, at least for positioning, I know we always talk about okay, so always thinking about positioning on a goal kick or a drop kick. It's like I got to get to that landing zone, but sometimes I think there's and that's an uncontested restart. There's not going to be anything. So it drops off a number of those things that happen on a foul, on a restart that's going to proceed from a foul, right? So there isn't going to be like a quick restart or somebody necessarily challenging that restart. So there's a lot more to think about, and then you might forget positioning, like right there, the one we just saw, where it's like, okay, you got the ball, and then okay, over there, and then you forget, oh, hey, I'm in a passing lane, or where's that ball going to land now? And you're going, oh, I got to keep an eye on the wall, I got to keep, and then sometimes that's the last thing, like, oh yeah, I got to, where's the ball going? Like, oh yeah, they have the offside line, but that isn't the landing zone.
Yeah.
So I think I was thinking about my own there. I was thinking, oh yeah, he's in a good position. He sees the wall. He sees where there's potential. Oh wait, he's not where the ball landed. Like he wasn't anywhere near that when it happened. I mean, so it was, he looked good until Roy had to say what he.
Yeah, and there's a whole other aspect from positioning that a few of us hit on here earlier on that if you do the flyby approach to talk with a coach, talk with a player, you're bringing in this whole match management aspect where positioning isn't just see. It starts becoming a proactive tool, a management tool. And it's not even that you need to say something. Sometimes you run in, they hear you coming, you can say, hey, I'm here, I see it, and you can, in doing that, avoid even needing to make the call that no one's going to want to see made. It might be persistent offenses because you're running in because this player's committed 2 offenses in the last 3 minutes and the other player's coming in hard again. All right? I don't have any clips of that. It's really hard to get that because when it's done well, nothing happens. So it's not an interesting clip. But yeah, it's a great tool that I was glad to hear some of us bring up in here. So. All right, well with that, I will thank everybody for participating in our focused discussion on positioning and restart management and how we can use those to add our personality to the game. And I hope we all have a good time refereeing in Oxnard this weekend. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, guys. See you Saturday.